So there's a video floating around right now that was produced by Mariah Rose, who's on one of these women's basketball podcasts. I think she's on the one with Lexi Brown or somebody or whatever. I don't even really remember, to be quite honest. I've seen her a few times. This happens to be Jalen Rose's daughter, who apparently has made herself an expert in women's basketball or what have you. But she has a TikTok video that she's posted that it reeks of silliness and lunacy. And we will take a look at this video right now. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Rudy's Rant, Her Game, Her Way, Women's Basketball. We talk facts of our feelings. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell. Appreciate y'all continuing support of the channel. Appreciate everyone who came on last night on the impromptu live. Everyone who's jumped on board on Tuesday, on Sunday Night Heat. We will be jumping on Sunday Night Heat, Sunday night, myself and Ben Daniel. Hopefully there'll be a win on Friday, but you never know at this point. Not nonetheless, let's jump in on this video. I want to share this with you right now and get right on into it. So here we go. Let's see right here. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see if I can make this bigger.
Perceived rivalry between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark is not saving the WNBA. It is not a bandage to the issues that the WNBA is having and has been having for years. Okay. The problem that the WNBA is having and that the players who play in this league are having is the lack of pay.
No. The problem the WNBA is having and the players are having is that they're just not good. That's the problem. The problem is that they've been subsidized by the NBA for 28 years. That's the problem. No other business would have survived 28 years losing millions of dollars the way the WNBA has. And you're going to get on here and say it's the lack of pay. They don't get paid because they don't draw in revenue and they don't make money. Basic mathematics, basic business sense. And if it wasn't for Caitlin Clark, you wouldn't even be speaking about the WNBA because I'd never even heard of your ass until the past 12 months. You wouldn't have a podcast, being that largely your podcast talks about women's basketball. Let's keep it real, but let's continue.
For their work, which is showing up every single day and being a professional athlete, which is what NBA players do. Okay, so whether you
just compare them to the NBA players. The NBA players play 82 games. They play 44 games this year. In the past, it was 40. Year before that, it was 36. What are you talking about? They play they play a season in which they play so fewer games. The games are not very good. And you're going to sit here and compare them to NBA players. NBA players draw in revenue. They make money. The league makes millions. The teams are worth billions. Come on now.
you agree that WNBA players deserve to be paid more or not, it doesn't discount the fact that they are putting in the work that a professional athlete like an NBA player, an NFL player is putting in.
No, they're not. That's a lie. No, they're not. You want to know why I know that's a lie? That's a lie because I've listened to players say, "Oh, I put in about an hour a day." Yeah, that's really about it. That's what Satu Sabali said when she was an Unrivaled, getting paid $200,000 or more to show up for 10 weeks and be utterly terrible. She said that. I put in about an hour a day. An hour a day, that's a weight room session. That's not putting in the same type of work that men put in. Go ask any professional men's basketball player how many hours a day that man puts in to his craft. I guarantee you it's more than an hour. It's more than 2 hours. It's in the hours. Hours. The ballers show up before practice starts. They're working out before practice starts. They're working out after practice ends. They watch film. They study. I mean, what? No, they don't. We know that WNBA players do not practice as hard. They don't play as hard. They don't work as hard. And they've said it. That's why. They've said it. I'm using their words. An hour a day? My son's workouts are 2 hours. He's in this fifth grade.
and they are not seeing the return on their investment. Okay.
There's no investment. They don't make any money. What return do you want? Do you want return on? There's no return. It's a negative. Wow. Did you go to bit? This is so stress inducing and frustrating because when you listen to this dreck and dribble out of someone's mouth who doesn't even know the basics of business 101, my goodness.
Of their time and their effort in the form of their paycheck.
Hey, man, I put in a lot of effort. You want to know what? I will tell you this. I put in more effort into this podcast and growing this podcast than the WNBA players do in playing basketball. I'd put a stamp on that one. I put in more time in a day in this podcast and building it from scratch, from nothing, than they put in getting better at basketball. Outside of maybe a few players, the vast majority of them don't work. They don't put in that grind. I put in hours per day. I sleep very little. I can promise you, my efforts in growing this podcast are larger than their efforts in getting better at basketball. Stop it.
Check from the WNBA. The growth that women's sports are experiencing is incredible. But the reason that they aren't being paid what the men are being paid is because not as many people are putting their eyeballs on the games.
Fuck it. Not as many people are putting on their eyeballs on the games. No shit. But you're sitting here asking them to get paid more. They don't make any money. How do they do? This is literally a charity job. This is because, and you're only saying all this shit because Caitlin Clark's made you notice.
Not as many people are buying tickets to see the games. Not as many TVs are on the games. Okay. The reason for that is because marketing this perceived rivalry between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark might benefit Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark because the world knows who they are. The world is paying attention to what her story is saying and where she's going and what they're doing. None of that has anything to do with basketball, though.
Ignorance is bliss, bro. Ignorance is truly bliss because this woman is really in a level of delusion where she's sitting here saying the attention that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have commanded do not help other players in the league. Are you high? Are you high? We literally watch other teams now because of Caitlin Clark. People who have been brought to the league are watching other teams because of Caitlin Clark. That helps those players. Their entire argument for this CBA is predicated on what Caitlin Clark has done for the league, has done for them. And you're going to come on here and say it doesn't help them? Of course it helps them. Any eyeball that's added because of them, either one of them helps the league. Before they showed up, no one watched. Nobody watched. Caitlin Clark just did a 2.7 million view game, and then a week later there's a 2.2 million view game. You kidding? Regular season.
None of it. And so while that might make them household names and get them into a Gatorade commercial, which might line up their pockets, it doesn't make more people watch what else is going on in the league. And for people to say that there's not an interest in non-Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark related storylines is absolutely false because I was at the season opener New York Liberty game against the Las Vegas Aces, and it was all about basketball. And it was packed to the brim, and there were people buying merch, and there were people who paid for their tickets, and there were fans that were loud about players that you might have never heard of as a casual WNBA fan, as a sports fan who hears.
Sweetheart, but no bullshit. No bullshit aside. All bullshit. Letting all bullshit aside. I have done video after video after video after video on non-Caitlin Clark, non-Angel Reese. I've done tons of videos on topics not them in the WNBA. And you want to know what? People like you don't watch them. So why would we continue to make content that takes time that is not going to be consumed? Understand, I did an entire preview on the WNBA on every team. And you want to know the two teams that had the largest viewership on their individual previews? Oh, you guessed it. The Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky. That's it. You know what number 3 was? The Golden State Valkyries. I get more viewership on one Caitlin Clark and one Angel Reese video than I did on 10 WNBA preview videos. About the only other player that I've done a video on who's gotten any real viewership is Skylar Diggins. And when Asia Wilson is crying racism. Kelsey Plum did a video on her, barely got watched. She's supposed to be one of the stars of the league. The Fisa Collier did a video on her, barely got watched. She's boring. Nobody cares. Sabrina Ionescu, nobody watched it. Breonna Stewart, nobody watched it. Player after player after player after player. Nobody watches them. So you're full of shit. You're full of shit. Kennedy Carter videos left and right. Very little viewership comparatively. Yeah.
WNBA discourse, and that's because all morning I watch sports television all morning. It's part of my morning routine. Okay, every show I had tuned into that covered the WNBA today talked about a Caitlin Clark foul on Angel Reese, and then the post game press conference that followed it.
That's basketball. I don't know if you know that that's actually a basketball thing. I know you're gonna sit here and say it's not basketball, probably, but I'm guessing you're gonna say that. But that's actually basketball related. Just so you know.
What a lot of people aren't understanding about this rivalry between Angel and Caitlin, that this isn't a rivalry between two players. Okay, those are women that have been playing against each other at a high level since the 8th grade. And to be quite frank with you, Angel Reese has been winning that battle all along, which is part of the reason why it has.
The fuck are you talking about? Winning what battle? Winning what battle? You have one player who's highly skilled, one player who has very little skill, and you're sitting here saying she's winning a battle? What? Because she was on a team that had more talent than Iowa in college? When did they play a game in high school against each other? What, in AAU? Are you comparing AAU teams? It's not real basketball. It's not real hoops. AAU is fucking all-star ball. That's not real ball. In the WNBA, Caitlin Clark's 5-1. Sorry, 4-1. Since this, Caitlin Clark's 5-1. Wow, my goodness.
As this interesting villain narrative, because Caitlin, in my opinion, objectively is the better player, right? They play two different positions, but she's the better player. But Angel has
Objectively, no, it's factually. It's not objectively. It's factual. She's not. It's not even remotely close. She's the much better player. It's not even in the same conversation. They're not even in the same stratosphere. They're not even in the same galaxy. I
been the winner and the one who gets the last laugh every single time. And so it's frustrating to watch this great hope for women's basketball lose and lose to this villain that brags and is brash and arrogant, right? Now that this rivalry
lose. She's lost one game in fucking 3 years to Angel Reese. What are you talking about? She beat her in the Elite Eight. She beat her 3 times last year. She beat her already this year by 35. They lost once last year to Chicago. You want to go back to the national championship for which Angel Reese was the 4th best player on her team that game? Come on, man. See, you're not even real. See, your lack of you're not genuine. You're lying, and you're creating a false narrative. No one gives a fuck about what they did in high school. Nobody. Nobody cares about what all-star team they were on in high school. Nobody. Nobody. Stop, man. Oh Lord, this is nauseating.
is translating into a professional setting where these players are playing two completely separate roles. Angel is on a team, the Chicago Sky, that have won a championship in this decade with a veteran-led roster. So now they're rebuilding, right? They draft Angel high up and they draft Camila Cardoso high up in hopes.
You stupid clown. Oh my God, she's hurting my ears. They won a championship and then they've fallen, and yet they're not anywhere near as bad as what Indiana has been for 8 years prior to Caitlin Clark showing up. What? For 8 years, Indiana has been horrible. Caitlin Clark shows up, they make the playoffs. Angel Reese shows up, they got worse. Chicago got worse. Worse.
To rebuild back to a championship sort of situation with a brand new coaching staff.
You ain't rebuilding the championship with Angel Reese as your focal point. Stop it. In no world. This isn't fucking elementary school where you just being taller helps you. Makes a difference.
Putting their star Angel Reese in a position to be a more versatile point forward type of player that we haven't seen her be before. It's new to her.
Because she can't do it.
It's a new era for the entire Chicago Sky franchise. Whereas the Indiana Fever had the number 1 overall draft pick right before Caitlin. And so now they're like, okay, number 1 pick, number 1.
That team was 13-27, Mariah. That team was 13-27. 13-27. The Chicago team was better than them that year. Chicago didn't even draft Angel Reese first for their picks. They took Camila Cardoso first. The only reason Angel Reese has become relevant is because Chicago screwed up and allowed a few games of double-doubles to influence them to lose focus of what their course should have been and what Teresa Weatherspoon should have been doing, which is developing Camila Cardoso in the post. This girl got an excuse for everything, bro. Seriously.
1 pick. We want to be in a position to win now. Made the offseason moves that were necessary to put Caitlin and Aaliyah Boston in a situation to contend for a championship now, in the next couple of years. Okay. The Chicago Sky are not in that situation. So every time we see this rivalry, right, this year play out, we're going to see the Indiana Fever, a championship built team, play against a rebuilding team and be like, wow, this rivalry kind of fucking sucks. So now we're in a situation where we're leaning on this rivalry to get people to watch the games, but when they tune into the games, all they're seeing is a blowout. And all they have to cling on to is, hey, that flagrant foul was a little rough. And look at how that girl responded. And let's look at the post game and see what they're saying and stuff that has nothing to do with basketball.
The fuck are you talking about? In the basketball game. How does that have nothing to do with basketball? Are you, what world are you living in, sweetheart? My God, I'm going to be condescending as fuck because you sound like a stupid little child. You sound like the 25-year-old that you are. You sound like the 25-year-old kid that you are who has no experience in life. None. Sorry, 24-year-old that you are. You sound like it. You sound like it. My Jesus, this is awful. No, it isn't a rivalry. I agree with that. Because rivalries actually require someone else winning a game once in a while. No, not once in a while. You're basically 50-50. But you came on here saying that Angel Reese has been winning this for quite some time. Don't know what you're talking about. Show me the games that Dowling Catholic, whatever school that Caitlin Clark went to in Iowa, how many times they played St. Francis. Show me. You can't. They probably never played.
Because who the fuck cares about a blowout between a rebuilding team and a team?
Oh, you care, because if it was the other way around, you would be losing your mind.
To contend right now. So then the narrative goes away from basketball again. And what does that do in turn for the problem at hand? Getting more people to watch the actual basketball? Nothing. I keep seeing this getting compared to Bird.
She's a moron, man. I can't stand stupid people, man. You're stupid. Bro, you just stupid. This is dumb. This is dumb beyond dumb, because if you're sitting here thinking that the ratings for other teams didn't go up because the attendance didn't go up because of Caitlin Clark showing up, you're high. 26% of the economic growth of the economy of the league last year was Caitlin Clark. She's 1/4 of the economy of the league. We just watched a game where she went to Washington and they were begging people to buy tickets because they could not get rid of them. The building was not sold out because she couldn't play. The ratings will be down. The ratings next week will be down against Chicago because she will not be on that court. She won't be. And you're going to sit here and say that's not about basketball? All this is about basketball. It's a fucking business. It's a fucking business. You embarrass yourself when you open your mouth. This is what happens when you have little fucking, these are less than millennials. These are what, Gen Alphas talking about things like they have no knowledge of. You have no life experience. You've been watching the WNBA for a fucking year and a half. You have no idea where it was at one point. You have no idea who the fuck Cynthia Cooper played before you were born. Before you were born. You're bugging. And people are watching other teams because of Caitlin Clark. I literally run a podcast where people are say I watch other games because of Caitlin Clark. Like
Magic. These aren't two championship contending teams playing against each other constantly for high stakes situations. They're playing for the court of public opinion at this point. And it's kind of putting Angel Reese at a loss where she can't win, right? Because she's in a new position in order to help her team win, which is what she got called out for last year, double fishing. Because if she's not putting up the stats, y'all are going to say, oh, she can't play. She's not Caitlin Clark. She's not that
can't
girl,
play.
But if she is playing the role she's getting asked to, that might not show up as much on the stat sheet.
Yeah, she's turning the ball over now.
Could help her be in a position to win a championship in the future. She's going to get made fun of anyways, and then she's losing.
Are you upset?
On national television, on rivalry, big Hallmark matchups.
Are you upset?
Constantly.
You sound upset.
So you're putting Angel in a situation where not only is she unsafe,
you sound bothered.
Being racist to her.
Now they're racist to her
at basketball games.
Oh, now they're racist to her. Oh shit! You mean the thing that was debunked? Oh yeah. That thing that got debunked, the thing that was not substantiated, the thing that was not true. God, man, you're going in right now. People are saying racist things there at basketball games. Yeah, okay.
But it's a lose-lose situation. And then at the end of the day, the whole W loses. Because what does this do for basketball?
Sweet Jesus, man. I can't help these young kids. These young kids make me sick sometimes, bro. I'm serious. I'm sure I'm sorry I chopped it up so much. But listen to dumb shit like that just is painful. It's painful. You want to go see the whole thing in full? I'm going to copy it and leave it in the bio, in the description of the video. But every time she's a basketball expert now, apparently. Oh, and a football expert too, huh? She talks about football too. I mean, I guess being the daughter of a former professional basketball player gets you into places because she has no idea what she's talking about. So she's an expert in football too. I mean, I see videos here on football and all these other things. Yeah. She sounds like someone who's just an Angel Reese fan, and she is, and that's fine. That's fine. She's just an Angel Reese fan. A pretty face. Yes, the podcast Hoops for Hotties. Go look at it. It gets no views. It gets no views. I think this is the one she was either the one with Lexi Brown or with Cheryl Swoops. I'm not sure which one. Doesn't even matter. But yeah, y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think of what she had to say? What do you think of the comments I made? Appreciate y'all. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell. This is Rudy's Rant, Her Game, Her Way, Women's Basketball. Come on now.